Well, we're all loaded up here. We got about, what, a 11, 12-hour drive here. We're heading way up north in tremendous lake trout water, but it's basically, this is going to be some exploration, but I can't wait. This is adventure fishing at its finest. I feel like we're pushing ourselves to the edge of the earth. This is going to be a cool trip.
Oh, here's a big mark. Huge mark, huge mark. Oh, there he is. He's fighting pretty hard right now. He's staying down. Oh, we got her.
I got her! I got her!
Yes!
Oh,
nice fish.
Look at that! Woo. Look at that! Hey. Gotta love a fish that'll eat something like that. We're up here in northern Manitoba, and if you were to look at the area around the paw here, which we're on Clearwater Lake today, but you've got Kississing, you've got Cranberry, you've got Baker's Narrows area, you've got Reed Lake. I mean, there's just so many different lakes up here. If you're looking at a 150-mile radius of where we're sitting, it's truly some of the very best lake trout fishing you're gonna find in the world, as far as if you loved ice fishing, you love these adventures like this. Well, that didn't take long.
Came right up and smacked it. Until you actually feel it for yourself, I was not expecting the power that they had. You get those fish up to the bottom of the ice and they just go right back down to the bottom and they don't let up.
Here she comes. Water's starting to move. Oh yeah, beautiful fish.
That one wasn't coming off.
No, there we go. There, hold your prize. Well, that's a nice start in the morning. Nice work. That fish come off the bottom?
Right off bottom. I was jigging it probably 7 to 8 feet off bottom and shot right up and smacked it.
Very
Just
cool.
kept reeling it away from the fish and it came up and smoked it.
You know, the staple for lake trout fishing has long been just a classic white tube jig, and obviously you can use all kinds of different soft plastics and combinations of jigs. You can use hair jigs. If you want to, you can tip the jig with a piece of cut bait or just a walleye belly strip. But you know, if they're not going on the tubes or the soft plastics, you know, then a lot of times we'll switch it up and we'll use, you know, large flutter spoons. And so there's not a lot of current out here, and so you can get away with that thin, you know, high action spoon that really causes a lot of flash and flutters that falls through the water. And you know, we're fishing out to 100 feet of water, and so the water is so clear that these fish can see that jig or that spoon for such a long ways. And so that's part of the mystique of this, is that you know, you'll see fish that shoot up 20 feet to hit your lure, you know, and it's just amazing the eyesight they have and just the acceleration they have. I mean, it's just really exciting to see how these fish respond to different lures. Cool. There he is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Boy, they are pretty fish. Lots of spots. Right in the tip of the beak there. They are pretty. I'll let that fish go, but yeah, we're just kind of set up on this transition here, popping around a little bit here, but we're just gonna keep putting in the time here and see if we can get one of those big fish. This lake has big trout, so we just got to keep going through enough of them.
Jason Mitchell Outdoors is brought to you by these industry leaders.
Woohoo! Yeah, what's my favorite series of hubs? The Clam C series shelters work best for us.
Jiffy grabber, yeah! What's our favorite ice sub shelter? The X Series from Clam Outdoor.
Choose the hub shelter that's right for you at Clam Outdoors. Pursue the ice.
A Vexilar is responsible for more fish being caught than any other piece of equipment you could buy.
You know what? Fishing lures and gadgets have come and gone over the last 60 years. But Vexilar's mission statement has been true, helping anglers catch more fish.
Vexilar is the gold standard in sonar performance and reliability in flasher sonar technology.
Your ice fishing adventure begins and ends with a Vexilar by your side.
Happy 60th, Vexilar!
Introducing the Rise Float Suit with motion float technology. Breathable, waterproof, secure, and all the features that make the difference. Waterproof cell phone pocket, rapid drain system, and maximum flexibility. Fish with security in the Rise Float Suit from Ice Armor by Clam. Rise above. Clam Outdoors. Pursue the ice.
The old mark lake trout where they just come up and just ignore it, and it's amazing. You know, you watch these fish on underwater camera, they just come in and out, they nose the bait, and you know, and when they're off, they're off. But when a lake trout is turned on, I don't know if you could do anything with that lure and get away. You know, you can reel that lure as fast as you can and they'll crush it. You can drop it down and they'll catch it. You know, they're just such a agile predator, and they can turn sharp, they can accelerate, they can rise up through the water column. You'll see lake trout do things and, you know, and hit a bait like no other fish can.
Oh, there he is. He's fighting pretty hard right now. He's staying down. He's not ready to come up yet. When I was first fighting that big fish, I mean, I was just hoping we'd get that fish in. I was hoping we could land it. It just went on some runs that you couldn't control. It kept pulling and dragging. You just couldn't budge it. It was not ready to come up. There we go.
You got a good one, huh?
Got a nice one here. This is what we've been waiting for, hopefully. I think we got a nice one here, Jason.
All right, here, I'll help you here.
When a fish of that caliber comes unhooked, it's just, I mean, you could just kind of see the looks in all our faces. We are just heartbroken when a fish like that comes off. But that is part of fishing.
No words. Well, all we can do is keep fishing.
Oh, here's a big mark. Huge mark, huge mark. Oh, there he is. Good fish, Jason, good fish. Real nice fish.
You got a big fish?
Real nice fish here, Jason.
Oh yeah, that looks like a big fish.
This fish is not ready to come up yet.
Here, I'll get your transducer out of the way here. Feels like a good one?
Yeah, it's a better fish, Jason.
All right. We've been getting fish, but we haven't gotten the fish.
I knew when I set the hook into that next fish that it was nice, maybe as big as that first fish. I was hoping we could get a fish like that in. And I mean, we probably fought that fish for close to 20 minutes and we'd get him close and it'd go right back down to the bottom. And it was just kind of an up and down battle. And when they decide to run, you just hang on and hope they don't pop off.
That reel sounds like it's getting hot.
Up yet.
Yeah, these big fish. Oh yeah, this is a big one. Oh, Back down she goes. You know, Clearwater Lake is just one of those lakes where you just catch a lot of lake trout. And so, you know, it's a great numbers lake. You can go out and catch a lot of fish, but what makes this lake unique as well is not only can you catch quantity of fish, you can also target those big fish. And so you never know when that 40-inch fish is going to show up.
Starting back over again.
Yeah. This is going to take a while. This is going to be a long process.
Yeah, she started swimming there towards me. I don't want it to get loose.
Yeah, just stay right over the top of the hole there.
Okay.
You're doing perfect, Jim.
This will be incredible. That's just a long ways to bring a fish out of a hole. 75+ feet we've been catching these fish. It's a heck of a fight with a fish this size. When you could see the back swimming down there, and when it comes up flat against the hole and you realize that that fish is taller than the hole is wide, it's quite the feeling. And we finally got that head start and it started coming up. I've never seen a fish that big. I'm not used to catching fish that big, but it was quite the exciting moment when we were able to land that fish.
Oh, we got her.
I got her!
We got her, yes!
Oh,
Nice fish,
look at
Jason.
that! Woo. Look at that! Hey. Awesome,
That's
buddy.
incredible.
Oh, what a fight.
What a
Go ahead
fish.
and pop that hook out there.
Oh, what a fish.
Oh, here.
What
Here,
a
you hold her.
fish.
Grab her right on the base of the tail. Really good. Really grip. Okay, now you got her belly. You got it?
Yep.
Okay, here. Put your hand underneath her belly. You got the tail?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Let's get her in the
Awesome
water.
fish.
Let
Let's
her
get that
swim away.
fish back.
That is what it's all about right there. Just the wave like a whale tail.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
You did a great job
Thank
fighting
you.
that fish.
Got it done.
That's a big trout.
That's an old fish too.
Old fish, you're right. It is.
It's nice to watch him swim again.
Awesome. Oh.
There he is. Oh yeah. You know, what makes lake trout unique, you know, from a lot of other fish that you catch in the wintertime is that lake trout actually become more active. You know, in the wintertime, you know, that's a preferred water temperature. You know, they can be anywhere in the water column, they can be really anywhere in the lake. And, you know, they just don't lose a beat. I mean, they're just as strong, just as fast. I mean, it's prime time for lake trout. If you're a lake trout, you love winter. And there's no fish in the lake that can get away from a lake trout. They're just so fast. That being said, when you're fighting a lake trout, you know, they can burp up air out of their bladder where they don't suffer barrel trauma like, you know, like perch and bass and walleyes. And they burp up some air, then you just go right back down to the bottom. And so that makes it a challenge as well. And so, you know, it takes a lot to wear them out. And then when you finally do get them up to the hole, you know, and they come in sideways and if they're hooked funny in the jaw, you know, just getting that big head turned in a 10-inch hole, you know, is half the battle some days. We started out, you know, we've got 100 feet of water behind us here. We're up into 75 feet here, so we're just on this shelf and we're getting a lot of activity. We're just going to hunker down here and give this a little bit of time. Sometimes a lake trout, you know, it's not really a, you know, necessarily a deal where you fish several spots in a day and move all over. You know, you have to kind of pick your good spots and give it a little bit of time. You know, you're looking, you know, in this case, you know, we're looking for, you know, maybe a bite or two a day, you know, of those really big fish. So we'll see what happens here.
Here comes one. Oh, got him. Fish on, Jason.
All right, I'm coming. Does that feel like a good one?
Feels like a decent fish.
Oh yeah, here she comes. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna eat a few.
That'd be a good one to take.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's kind of a do-it-yourself deal where it's come up here, you fish hard, you eat a few fish at night. Kind of a deal where you just fend for yourself, but that's what makes it so cool up here.
We've done a lot of crazy fishing adventures up in this part of the world, and there's just some tremendous drive to fishing. And it's really laid out nice for the do-it-yourself angler, or the people around here are willing to help. But if you have your own equipment, your own gear, you can just come up here and have a ball. It's just hardcore fishing, and I love it. I mean, we've done shore lunches out on the ice, and you can go to some lakes and and catch a bunch of walleyes for supper, or keep a few small lake trout for supper. But we just fish hard all day, make a big meal at the end of the night, and get up early the next morning and do it again. And you get up here for 3, 4, 5 days. I mean, you almost need a couple of days just to recoup, because it's just ice fishing overload, and I love it.
Oh, look at that. There. That's why people come up here. As far as I'm concerned, one of the funnest, most powerful freshwater fish that swims right there.
I just love it up here. There's just so much water to explore. There's just such great fishing, especially for trout fishing. In my mind, lake trout, that's the apex fish to fish for through the ice.
I got her! Oh my goodness! Look at this!
That's why you fish big baits, and that's why you fish northern Manitoba.
Look at the paddle.
That is the reason right there, buddy.
Goodness.
Isn't that awesome?
It's one of the biggest trout I've ever seen.
Oh, here's a big mark. Huge mark. Huge mark. Oh, there he is. He's fighting pretty hard right now. He's staying down. Oh, we got her.
I got her!
Yes!
Oh,
Nice fish.
Look at that! Woo, look at that! There he is. Lake trout. Boy, I love how these fish hit. That's just what makes lake trout fishing so cool.
Lake trout are a big fish, and so a lot of times we're using 14 to 20 pound braid just to get a good hook set in that deep water. But when you have barbless hooks, you also have to have a rod that's forgiving, and so you have to crank up the drag to set the hook, but at the same time you really have to play that fish. So a lot of times we're using a 3 to 4 foot fluorocarbon snell, where we're tying that snell to the braided line with just a small barrel swivel, and the barrel swivel takes out some of the twist in your line. But it's amazing how hard it is sometimes to get some of these big lake trout in the hole. You get them started and they push their tail against the ice, they can just back right out of the hole. And so just an amazing fish to target.
Oh, there he is. Golly. Been fishing the same hole pretty much all day and hadn't been marking much lately, so I hopped around to a different hole, and as soon as I dropped down, I brought the jig off bottom, and this one came racing up and smacked it. Away she goes. Nice fish. I've always wanted to come up here and target this species, but after catching a fish like that and seeing how they react and how they are, it's definitely a trip I want to come back and do again.
So we're staying at Evergreen Lodge here near the Paw, and if you come up here, the people that own these lodges, they're not only friendly, but they want you to catch fish when you come up here. And so you can get some pretty good information, some pretty good intel just from the lodge owners. The thing about this you got to remember too is there's a lot of people that are coming and going through camp, and most of the people that we're seeing up here, I would say 95% of these people that we've seen, which isn't very many, but they're all from Manitoba, and they know this water well. And so One thing that we've found is that, you know, people are pretty helpful. They'll at least get you started in the right direction so you can try to get on some fish.
Fish on! Got the chance juice there, bud?
Yeah, we'll get that out of the way.
That fish just rocketed up. See him yet? There she comes. There we go. Oh yeah. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Oh, that jig popped right out of her mouth. Got her up the hole at the right time. Look at that. Look at the spots on that fish. That's just gorgeous. Get her in the water here. No! That fish didn't like that.
She's ready to go back down.
Oh, I gotta warm up the hands. Well, they're chasing. You know, we've got dead sticks out, and kind of the program up here in a lot of these lakes is you put these big dead baits out, laying right on the bottom or close to the bottom, and sometimes that's how you'll catch your very biggest fish. But we've been jigging. You're using a spoon, I'm using a tube. We're both marking fish and both getting the fish to chase, and so you know, that's the fun of it. I enjoy catching a lake trout on a Vexler. When that's about as good as it gets. Some of these fish shoot up 10, 15, 20 feet or more just to gun you down.
It seems like the ticket is to keep pulling away from them as fast as you can, and that's how they like it, moving fast.
Pull it away. Bring out the predator. This is how we end the day up here in Manitoba. Fresh lake trout, a little bit of Catalina and butter, some garlic. Life is good, but long days, fish hard, and this is a cheap trip. We're staying at Evergreen Lodge, but you know, there's just a lot of different camps up here you can stay at that stay open during the wintertime with the exchange rate. Get a group of guys, come up, fishing trip of a lifetime, and it's very, very affordable. It's something anybody can do.